You've seen in the papers this week that Prince Harry turns 25 next week. All well and good.
Oh, he's nearly old enough.
But,
Carol! Not that I'm interested anymore.
no. You treat men like peddlers. Mark, come in, your time's up. Well, if Harry decides to stay in the country after that comment, being hunted by you. Not only does he turn 25, it means that he gains control of his share of his late mother's estate, which is estimated to stand at around £9 million. It's a lot of money. Now, Harry and his brother William inherited the money when Diana died over 12 years ago, and both are prevented from spending it until they're 30. However, the interest generated on that amount every year stands at about £300,000, and he's free to do with that as he will, so to speak. So what do you think? Should conditions be put on money that you intend to leave in a will, or should it be left to people to decide what they do with it once you're gone?
Well, I think for that sort of money, I mean, you know, people like that, they're just inheriting family money, I suppose. So, yeah, there does need to be conditions because it's such an enormous amount. And, you know, they're not going to go short, are they? Let's face it. And they've got the interest to live on, etc., etc. But in everyday life, I think if you leave money in your will to somebody, I don't think you can impose conditions about what they spend it on, because once you give money away, you've given the money away, and they should be allowed to spend it on what they like. Now, in my situation, I don't have much to leave, but I am on a mission to spend almost everything that I've got before I die. No, I really am.
It's your money, yeah, why not?
Because it's mine, and I want to enjoy it while I'm alive. But the other thing is, I just loathe the idea of inheritance tax. You know, I've paid tax on all that money already, and then when I die, I've got to pay some more.
Kind of outrageous,
no.
isn't it?
So, and anyway, you know, I don't have any kids, and, you know, I don't have any pets, or, you know, I've got a bit of family, I can leave them a little bit. But well, I don't have very much, but, no, I don't like...
the wedding.
Yes.
I don't like
Harry's still scared.
I don't like the idea of leaving stuff to kids. You know, there are kids around who have a sense of entitlement, like, you know, they don't do anything because they think, oh, you know, my parents will be dead soon and they can give me their money. But they do. Kids do have
it's
entitlement.
Interesting, this, because...
And I think it's wrong.
I never had to think about this until recently, because I became a mum, and obviously, you draw up a will, not just about where your money goes, but where the care of your child falls to and who it falls to. So if Darren and I were to no longer be here, who would raise our son? And it became... I mean, for about 2 weeks, I tried really hard to write my will, and I had to stop every night. I just ended up in tears, because I did the thing that you don't like. I started allocating money to people, but on condition that they spent it in a certain way. Like, I want you to clear your mortgage with this.
But you can't do that.
But you can. It's still your money.
But it's not. You've given it to somebody.
It's a present, though,
You've
really.
left it to somebody else. It's their money.
I don't see it. I know.
Yeah, but you're not going to know, though, are you, really?
Well, who said?
No, exactly.
I've always been told I was a very dominant spirit.
You won't know.
But I think it's fair enough. If it's your money and you've worked hard for it and you had plans for that money for that person that you love and you care for, then it's quite within your rights, I think, to say, have this, clear your mortgage, but don't go and booze it up.
And I'm kind of in between the two of you, because, you know, everything I do, you know, and all the money I make, I'm sorry, but for me, is for my kids when I'm not here. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm saying to them, oh, don't bother getting a job, don't bother working. But, you know, it's like, if when my parents died, they didn't have any money, so I never got any, you know, anything in a will or anything. But if I had rich parents and they died, or not even rich parents, but parents that died and left something to some, you know, Save the Goldfish Fund, I'd have to dig them up and kill them again.
How can you? It's their money. How can... Why
so it's all right then?
No, but why can you be upset about what people do with their own money? It's their money.
Well, my
Respect.
So it's all right if you leave it to cats, but not if you want to clear a mortgage.
I always owed my dad
point.
money. Yeah, always owed my dad money growing up. Always skint, and I owed him about 950 quid when he died. And the next day, my mum and I were sitting there trying to think of something funny to get ourselves out of the terrible, you know, depression that we were hitting. And I just said, "How much did I owe him then, Mum?" She said, "About 950 quid. Well, you did owe him." And I went, yeah, OK. I said, well, you know what's going to happen, don't you? When I pop my clubs, he's going to be there going, you thought I forgot, didn't you? Telling you.
Well, time for...